Imagine over 1,600 attendees not having their questions answered, not getting the opportunity to network with one another, and not having the opportunity to develop the friendships that could only develop at an association symposium like this. That's what it would be like if it were not for the man we're honoring tonight. John Allin is he is the person who had the original idea. He organized a meeting of snow contractors in his basement in Erie, Pennsylvania, and that was the beginning of SIMA back in 1996. He served as our board president for the first 6 years, an unpaid position where he actually had to throw in hundreds of thousands of dollars of his own money to pay the staff and keep the association going. The symposiums were his idea, and he also started the CSP program. His leadership moved the industry from the plow jockey perception to that of a professional risk manager today. His vision has helped many companies go from barely scraping by to, in some cases, building multi-million-dollar companies. John opened the door for contractors to talk to one another and to learn from one another. He's the man who stepped forward to snowplow the Olympics in Salt Lake City in 2002. You think you have a lot of pressure making sure that your corporate headquarters and your apartment complexes are open the morning of a snowstorm? Can you imagine taking on responsibility for a task that if you screwed up, hundreds of millions of dollars of revenues would be in jeopardy, and billions of people around the world would be pointing the finger at you? Imagine that. No, John was never afraid to take a calculated risk. He's truly an icebreaker in this industry, literally and figuratively. He wrote the 250-page book, Managing Snow and Ice, the Bible of our industry. He designed and patented the Snow Dragon commercial snow melting machine. His company had distributorships in 42 countries before he sold that business. He was one of the first contractors to use box plows or pushers. John always believed in no secrets. He didn't mind sharing his contracts and his wisdom with his closest competitors. He believed that the more he shared, the more that would raise to a higher level the professionalism in this industry, raise the standards in the industry, and we would all benefit from that, and we definitely have. He's like the pitcher with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Says, here it is, this is my best, send your best up to the plate, and go ahead and try to hit it. Or the coach who lets the whole world know his game plan. He says, this is who we are, this is how we're going to beat you. I don't care how much you know, we're still going to kick your ass. He's been a great mentor to me, helping me go from green and white to the snow-only business. He's always there to help me, including getting started as an expert witness, giving me his rate sheets and answering all my questions to help make it a success. While he is a paid consultant, he also gives out lots of free advice. His mentoring and willingness to help other contractors was a big draw for contractors to come to SIMA in the early years. Contractors, including myself, always knew that if we came to a SIMA event, John would be there and we'd be able to run something by him. He's constantly asking me, Mike, what do you need from me? Mike, what can I do for you? John understands that serving others is the key to success. He's made a lot of sacrifices along the way. He's just a regular guy like you and me who's had a lot of big ideas and a great staff of people around him to help him achieve those goals. He's accomplished a lot of remarkable things, and he sees the good in everybody. He has a hard time with pessimists. Don't tell him something can't be done. Whether or not you believe you can or you can't, you're right. He's not afraid to make mistakes. He was the first one to admit that he's made mistakes along the way, like we all have. You can't have that much success at anything without making a lot of mistakes along the way. If you haven't had a chance to meet him, I encourage you to do so before you leave this week. You saw a show of hands earlier about just a handful of people. I think there were only 3 people in the room who were at the first symposium. John is one of only a few people who have been to more symposiums than I have. I missed the first one because I did not know about SIMA until a few months later. But he's here again, and he's been to all 17 of them. John, it's probably time to break out those sardines you've been keeping in the fridge. For the day when you thought that you were a success, I believe I've been a success in this business, and you've accomplished so much more than I have. You've definitely made it. Your dedication to the betterment of this industry has been relentless. There are only 4 previous winners of the Lifetime Achievement Award. No one deserves this award more than you. This is long overdue. Please welcome to the stage the Snow and Ice Management Association Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Mr. John Allin.
Allin would be happy. I have achieved a number of things, but I haven't done any of it alone. I think probably the thing that I'm the best at is surrounding myself with people that are smarter than me. I happen to be drawn to strong-willed women, and I have had a number of women who have pushed me, pulled me, beat me up. Lisa Edwards and her sister were the first. Mary Russell was a strong-willed woman, and some of you know Mary, and some of you know Lisa. And Tammy Johnson, who most of you know as Tammy Hyam, who was right there at the beginning of SIMA for the first 10 years. And more recently, Shelley Kipp and Jeannie Schenderline, who have been very good at helping me achieve things that I would like to do. And of course, the one person who has stood by me for the last 30 plus years, and who listened to me dream. And when she figured out that I was going to make something happen, she jumped on board and said, if we're going to do it, I'm going to make damn sure you don't screw it up. And that would be my wife, Peggy. I used to go to symposiums and people would come up to me and they would say, I wish I had achieved some of the things that you have achieved. Wish I had a business like yours. Wish I could do some of the things you've done. And I used to tell all of them the same thing. You can do this. But it comes with a sacrifice. You have to sacrifice sometimes the first steps. The prom. Your son or daughter coming home from their first breakup, and you can't be there. Everybody has choices. And there are things that I would do differently. My children suffered for me to achieve a lot of what I have. And they have allowed me back into their life. Probably the greatest achievement of all. And I also believe that everybody has to have friends. And my best friend is my father, who has lived to see this day and is here with me tonight, as are my children. I truly believe if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that means that everybody in this room who is here is a professional, because if you weren't, you'd be back home. And if I have helped in some small measure to allow all of you to achieve things that you might not have been able to do on your own, then my life has been fulfilled. And I thank SIMA and all of you and the people who have been close to me. And Mike, thank you for the kind words. It is truly an honor. Thank you.
Yeah!
Back to you, Jimmy.
Wow, I like that guy.
Oh. How can you not?
So there's another awards banquet coming on, and I hope everybody walks out of here with an award this evening, that of something maybe just inspired that you want to do.